So we have our next speaker now, Dr. Stojan Sorcan. He's a sociologist and he has worked for many years at the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation in the Republic of Slovenia. In recent years, he has been the national contact point for the Marie Curie calls under the European Horizon Europe program, which aims to develop research careers through international mobility. He's a part of the network of all the Marie Curie national contact points where applicants can find support for their application. In his work, he emphasizes that to be successful in Marie Curie calls, applicants need to have an excellent knowledge of their research area, an ambitious research idea, supportive supervisor and host organization, and sufficient time to prepare the application. So let's get to know more from Dr. Sorcan. He will talk us, he will discuss and show us how this Marie Curie fellowship work. Welcome, Dr. Sorcan. The floor is yours, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this nice introductory word. Good afternoon to everybody. It is a great pleasure for me today to share with you information about the Marie Curie postdoctoral project, which is part of Horizon Europe. As you know, Marie Skłodowska-Curie Action fund excellent research and innovation and equip researchers at all stages of their career with the new knowledge and skills through international mobility and through exposure to different sectors and different disciplines. The Marie Curie action help build Europe capacity for research and innovation by investing in the long-term career of excellent, particularly young researcher. As you heard, I'm the national contact point for Marie Skłodowska-Curie in Slovenia, and my and our role is to help you at any point with advice on applying for project and interpreting the official documents and rules. You can find contacts of all NCPs around the world in the EU funding and tender portal. My today presentation aims to give you just a basic understanding on the concepts of the Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship call, which is important for the preparation of your proposal, which I will explain in the second part of my presentation. As you know, Marie Curie calls are located in the excellent pillar of Horizon Europe. The MSCA promote excellence and set a standard for high-quality research education and training in line with the European Charter of Researchers. The budget for the MSCA under Horizon Europe is quite high, 6.6 billion euros, and Marie Curie calls attract the highest number of researchers, as you see. Last year, call for postdoctoral fellowships attract more than 10,000 applicants from all around the world. The average success rate proposal is around 16%. So as you see, the competition is very, very high. MSCA calls are also the oldest in the EU framework program. They are designed to develop your research careers. So I think this is the most important through research training and international mobility. So you have to move to the other country. The European Commission also strongly emphasizes the importance of cooperation with the non-academic sector, so-called intersectoral cooperation, which is, in addition to interdisciplinary cooperation between disciplines, a very well-known trademark of MSCA. I must also highlight the bottom-up approach, which means that the topic you will propose depend only on your interests, so the topics are not predefined as in other calls. The MSCA is somehow a reference program for talented researchers around the world at all career stages, and especially their focus for young researcher, and a large proportion of MSCA researchers later go on to apply for ERC projects. Given that Horizon Europe is impact-driven research program, the potential impacts of the project proposal on research and innovation activities at the global and on local level are very important, and also the impact on individuals, on you as a researcher, as well as on research organization should also be highlighted. So this broader impact is very important, and you have to incorporate it into your grant writing. The MSCA programs are fully in line with the main policy orientation of the Horizon Euro program, and directly contribute to the European Commission policy and strategic orientation, and to the European missions. Cancer mission is one of them. So the synergy between MSCA and missions are very important. The program, the MSCA program, is somehow key enabler of solutions to the EU societal challenges. So as you see, the impact, as professor before me stress is very crucial. All of those principles and policy orientations are delivered through 5 different calls for proposals, which are launched at around the same time each year. The calls are open to academic and also to non-academic institutions. You see the basic dates, and also the volume of money, and also the money which is dedicated to for personal researchers. Due to the new European Commission, the information given here is not fully accurate, because the work program for 25 has not yet been improved, but we expect that the call for postdoctoral fellowships will be published on the 8th of May. The MSCA work program is a fundamental strategic document that will help you very much to better understand the concept, principles, content, and expected impact and results of your project. So it is somehow of Bible of your grant writing. The document is essential for your understanding of MSCA core categories such as excellence, mobility, interdisciplinary, and cross-sectoral collaboration. All calls for tenders are published on the European Commission funding and tender portal at approximately at the same time each year. On the portal, you can find also the all relevant document Q&A section, as well as partner search announcement, and the submission of application is, of course, electronic. The European Commission suggests 6 steps to prepare your application, and today we will look only at the first 3. The following documents will help you a lot in preparing your project. I think that it is very useful that you have all available documents on the net. The way of writing of those documents are very simple, and I would really encourage you to read it carefully and translate it into your grant writing. But between them, the guide for applicants is the most is the most important because it explains you all details and features of the main of the postdoctoral fellowships, which I will now summarize. So in the form of mind map, I will show you the basic feature you need to know about the postdoctoral fellowships. First of all, it is expected launch date and deadline of this year call, then the objectives which are described in the work program, as I said. Then the postdoctoral fellowships can be carried out in Europe or outside Europe. More about this in the next slide. The conditions, eligibility conditions for researcher and research organizations are very, very simple, and I will explain it more in detail later. One, then the funding. The funding is also very, very, very simple. I would say very attractive, as it provides a salary plus mobility and family allowances, as well as material and institutional costs for institution. Postdoctoral fellowships allow you full employment for up to 2 or 3 years, 100% funding, and additionally, if you fail the main list, you have additional opportunity to get a seal of excellence. Namely, if you get more than 85%, you will get a seal of excellence. In some countries, for instance, Slovenia give you national funding. But in the case if you will apply your projects with the widening countries, so there is additional possibility, because you can get, instead of Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowships, you can get ERA fellowships, which is more or less the same as postdoctoral fellowships, just name is different. And in the end, what is also very important, it is excellence and impact and implementation criteria, which I will also explain you in detail. And now, conditions for researcher. So MSCA postdoctoral fellowships are open to excellent researchers of any nationalities with an existing PhD in all research disciplines, for a longer 2 or 3 year international mobility between EU and non-EU countries to enhance your career development and job prospects. So the next eligibility condition is maximum 8 years of research experience from date of award of the first doctoral degree. In the case of non-research work, the time spent on this will be reduced. So this is the maximum type, 8 year from the date of the first doctoral degree. And then mobility rule, because MSCA is a mobility program. You must not have lived or worked in the country of your host institution for more than 1 year in the last 3 years. So this mobility rule is let's say very strict and very important, and you must not have obtained less than 70 evaluation percent points in the most recent MSCA call for postdoctoral fellowship. So these are the main eligibility conditions for a researcher. And then, of course, you need to have a host organization. Your host organization have to be located in EU member states or Horizon Europe associated country, and they have to be public or private. So it's not problem. And depend on the country of your location. You could choose European fellowships or global fellowships. In the case you will choose European fellowships, you will have a duration maximum 2 years, but in the case you will go to the third countries outside Europe, it is 3 years, 2 years in the third countries, and then 1 year back in Europe. And during your postdoctoral fellowships, you could choose, it is not obliged, it is facultative elements, secondment during the performing of your fellowships. So for 1/3 of the project duration, you could choose some another location in any place of the world, but of course these institutions have to be strongly connected with your topic. And after the fellowship, you could also choose a non-academic placement in non-academic institution for 6 months. So the European Commission will give you the additional funding for this academic placement. The reason is how to foster your impact, or to check how your results of research activities will be implemented into real life. Very attractive solution, I would say. And this is the budget. This is the budget. As you see, very attractive. As I said, this is of course brutto contribution for recruited researcher is divided for living allowances for your wages, mobility allowances, family allowances, and then also institutional units cost, research and training material cost, and also institutional cost. I have to say that living allowances is not absolutely, because country correction coefficients applies to living allowances in order to ensure the equal treatment and purchasing power parity for researcher. For instance, if you will come to Slovenia, then you will get a little less than if you go to the Italy or Germany. Depend on the living cost. And this is additional possibility. If you will submit your proposal by a host institution from a widening countries, there is a possibilities to get more chances for your fellowships. And if you will get more than 85%, but you will not be included into the main list for funding, you will get the MSCA Seal of Excellence. And some countries, here are the list of those countries, will fund your Marie Curie fellowships with the national or institutional sources. So I think that this is very useful. For instance, in Slovenia, in last call, we get 9 ERA fellowships and 24 Seal of Excellence. So it is additional to 8 fellowships which we get on the main list. So I think it's a very useful, and this is the proposal structure of which consists 3 parts. Very simple, I would say. Part A is administrative form, very easy. You have to explain who you are, your keywords, your host institution, contact points, and so on. But the most important is part B. It is maximum of 10 pages. we have a very nice template with the questions you have to follow and fulfill this. And of course, this is the main job and the most challenging one. And then is a part B, where you will upload your CVT and explain the capacity of participating organization. The evaluation process is based on the peer review assessment, so it's a scientific merit based. The peer review process is carried out in the context of different scientific panels. Reviewers are selected on the basis of your keywords. The project proposal is first evaluated individually and then with all uh, peers, and in the end you will give evaluation summary report with explanation of each sub criteria. I would like to recommend you the MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowship Handbook, which is the excellence source for learning about the evaluation requirements. I suggest you using it as a guide when writing your proposal and follow them step by steps, because it is really very useful. And now based on the handbook and based on my experience, I will now outline some of the basic features of the evaluation criteria. I will focus in particular on those that have been found to be problematic in evaluations in recent year. All the others are described in detail in the mentioned handbook. The criterion of excellence is understandably the one that is the most important, contributing 50% of the overall score. The MSCA focus on excellence very strict, but in various aspects. Excellence does not apply only to the individual researchers, to your idea, but also to methodology, to the training program, to your supervisor, to your host institution, and also to your impact and to your ability to show how you will implement your research goals. And here you can see an analysis of the evaluation comments from MSCA call from 22, carried out on representative sample by my NCP colleagues. First of all, you can see that each of the four main criteria has a number of sub-criteria that are subject to critical assessment, and the graph shows the number of positive and negative evaluation comments. The blue lines show the number of positive comments, and the orange line the number of negative. It can be seen that some sub-criteria are more highlighted than others. I will focus on the 5 most common weaknesses in writing a chapter of excellence, namely methodology, as you see, objectives, two-way transfer of knowledge, quality of the training program, and the research professional experience. So the main challenge for all proposers are how to write the research objectives. The research objectives are evaluated by their precise definition, so they have to be very precise, they have to be original, they have to be ambitious, so the level of their innovation have to be very high, they have to be verifiable, they have to be achievable, they have to have some timeline note. They have to be relevant from scientific and society point of view. They have to be interdisciplinary. One of the main issue of MSCA is interdisciplinarity and cooperation between disciplines, and also consistency with the methodology and work package design, as well as level of support by identification of performance indicators and benchmarking. Very complicated, I would say. One of the key word is a smart. The objectives have to be smart. They have to follow specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound dimension, because evaluator will assess you by those criteria. Having in mind that your objectives have to be realistically achievable, measurable, and verifiable is the most important. But of course, they have to be supported by the state of the art, by the good idea, and by the identified knowledge gap. So here you can see in detail some key features of description of the objectives that you need to take into the account. And don't forget, it is not only research objectives but also training objective, because MSCA is research and training. And then the methodology was the evaluation criterion with the most weaknesses comment, even the evaluation summary report with the highest score. So the methodology is the most problematic one. Evaluators' comments indicate that the methodology should be well explained, not general, very detailed, including concept, models, data sources, indicators, assumptions, as well as challenge. They have to based on existing work, and of course they have to be supported with the state of the art, and they have to be feasible and achievable, and of course credible. It should be consistent with the scientific objective. They have to be ambitious, novel, and they have to have a lot of innovative aspects. As you know, methodology have to show how you will prove your research objective. And here are once again some examples of evaluators' positive comments. The third weakness points are the training program. The training program aimed at researchers' career development. Evaluators commented on the meaningful of the training for the researchers and fit the researchers and scientific backgrounds and expertise and your need for your further development, and they have to include also transferable skills, not only scientific knowledge. The training could be different. They have to be formal as well as not formal, training through research activities, regular meeting with supervisors, interdisciplinary knowledge exchange, as well as self-taught courses. The description of the training programs needs to provide clear and comprehensive information on how the researchers will be trained with convincing and well-elaborated training activities. So also the two-way transfer of knowledge, which is something looks something new, but it is not. Training program is transfer of knowledge from host institution to you, to your personal knowledge, but you have also show how you as a young researcher will transfer your knowledge, your experience to the host institution. So the complementarity between you and host institution have to be very very good elaborated. So you have to show concrete and specific method for transfer, and you have to show why the knowledge you have it is important for your host institution. And the last weak points in this excellence chapter is the research career development, which is the aim of the MSCA postdoctoral grant. It relates to your professional experiences, competencies, and skills. You, as a researcher, is expected to demonstrate an impressive volume with you're a good publication record in the field of the proposed research. Depend, of course, how many years has left from your PhD. So the next important issue is or criteria is the impact. I would like to remind you once again that that work program defines expected outcomes at the level of the individual research and on the level of the research organization you have to follow. So the weight of the impact evaluation criteria is slightly lower than the excellent criteria, and here you can see that career perspectives and employability of the researcher is the most strengthening criteria under the impact session, but the most difficult part of the impact chapter is describing the social and economic impact, as it was mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, followed by the communication plan. So communication with a wider audience. Also citizen science is part of this communication, as Professor mentioned before, and the protection of intellectual property and exploitation plan in the case of your research results are commercialized. So you see that the level of different subcriteria are quite huge, and they need a lot of attention. So the career perspectives and employability is the main objective of the MSCA postdoctoral fellowship. So the main objective is your career development, and enhancing the career perspectives and employability is expected by the evaluators to be well described in your proposal grant. They have to be credible, very concrete, measurable, and supported by the supervisor and considered at a different level of time scale. You will need to prepare a career development plan, and you have to show how your supervisor will monitor your research career progression. So the career perspectives and employability can be achieved by the researcher by your integration into the host research groups and into international network, and you have to explain how this integration will occur. So the next weakest point is the exploitation. Exploitation plan is the second weakest impact, and the evaluator expected that you clearly outline which project results are deemed to be exploitable. So you have to imagine, and you have to make some foresight analysis if your results will be useful, not from scientific point of view, but from societal or practical point of view. Then you have to show how you will do that. In the case if you will have a patent application and if you need intellectual property right, you have to appropriately describe this. And then the communication plan. The communication plan is not so important than scientific part of your proposal, but it is important because you have to provide some sufficient information regarding your content of research for a wider community, and also civil society engagement is here very welcomed, and this plan have to be concrete, not so general. So as I said in the beginning, the expected societal and economic impacts are problematic because sometimes I have feeling that we do not have enough imagination, enough creativity to see what kind of impact our research could have. So I think that that the discussion with your supervisor and with your colleagues will bring you some ideas to show medium term or long term impact which might be expected from your research. And in the end, the implementation criteria is also very important. Despite its weight is only 20%. So important is because you must consistently bring together all the activities mentioned so far and demonstrate that all objectives and plans are achievable. It contains work plan, risk, time management, and host institution and host arrangement. And the most difficult part of project application is detailed description of the work plan and risk management. So the work plan should match the objective of the proposal. A credible work plan is based on identified objectives. They have to be carefully designed, detailed, balanced, easily to follow. They have to be transparent and, of course, achievable. So the achievability is the main purpose of the work program. Expectly devoted time for implementing your research objectives are the most important. The next one, so the next problem or challenge, I would say, is the risk assessment. They should be clearly specified. It should include not only scientific part but also administrative issues, manpower consideration, professional development and researcher skills and experiences problems which could occur. And you have to also propose some mitigation plan. So the risk assessment should consider all potential challenges which might happen, and as you see, a lot of weaknesses, happened because of the general description. And in the end, the host institution is, of course, very important because you have to show that you will choose the most excellent host institution which give you a lot of support services, which will care of you and which will integrate you not only into the scientific research activities but also into the social life. So you have to show that you will be very well integrated into the new environment. So yeah, this is more or less all about the writing grant proposal. And just in the end, I would like to suggest you to learn from the successful project. So the Cordis web page offer you a lot of useful projects in your field. Just type a keywords and type of EU funding scheme, and you will see the abstract objectives and also the reporting and final results. So I think that this is the very best way to learn how to design the research project, what expectation the evaluator would expect from you, what kind of results you could plan. So I think that this is the best way. And from my practical experience, I would like to suggest you also to start writing early enough. I think that you need more than 3 months full-time work for 10 pages because each sentence have to be very, very concise, very, very detailed. and you have to find the best supervisor and the best host institutions which match with your scientific interest. Please use a checklist, use a MSCA handbook, and also please use a proofreading from your colleagues and also from MSCA NCPs. So we are not experts for cancer research or for any research, but we are experts for methodological approach. So we could read your proposal from methodological point of view and suggest you what we think that you could improve in order to be your proposal more transparent, more efficient. So the national contact points are really available. We are in all countries. In the beginning, I showed you the list of contact. So please contact us, and we will give you more detailed information and help. So this is the all. Thank you very much for your attention, and now or maybe later I'm available for your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sorcan. Actually, this is my second time I attend one of your lectures, and I have to say you are always so clear and your tips are always so precious. So we will have a common Q&A session after next presentation. So thanks for staying with us. And again, I remind everyone, please use the chat to write your questions, and then I will read your questions during our Q&A session.